Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. It's part 96 today and we are back for the start of our 11th season in charge. We've just had our bookmark to look at the progress of Wales and today we've got a chance to continue that progression. We face Olimpija in the third qualifying round for the Champions League. They're sure to provide good opposition. They're a 3-star Slovenian side. And they've made it to the third qualifier too. So a tough test to come. So if you want to find out how we get on, what we've been doing over the summer, and which of our Welsh sides is finally trying to help us, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. You can keep up to date with all the playlists in the eye above, and our live streams, which are 3 times a week on Twitch, down in the description below. But a massive thank you for your support as always as we head into another season. And let's start by having a look at transfer news for Bangor City and Welsh football. So for us, we're kind of looking at loan options up front. Now the reason we're doing that is we've lost Greg Pringle. We've not been able to get him back on loan. He was briefly, weirdly transfer listed at Liverpool, if you excuse the keyboard. He was transfer listed. He didn't want to join us. He said he didn't enjoy his loan spell, despite the fact he was very happy for the most part. He now doesn't want to come back. Now Liverpool have taken him off the transfer list. He can't be loaned back. And we're just in this sort of difficult position where I don't want to use all the loan spaces in the squad. And then like we had with Ian Brooks one year, we can get him on the last week of the window. Because if we then can get him, but don't get him because we haven't got any loan spaces left, I'll be furious with myself. So we've got 2 strikers who have agreed to join. Anthony Byrne is one of them, who's a very quick but not quite as good technically or mentally striker from Norwich. And then the other one is Barry Kerr, who is an Irishman at Sheffield Wednesday, who's a bit more of an all-round footballer, but maybe not quite so electric physically. So they're the sort of 2 things we're balancing out at the moment. We have bought one in already, which is just to compete with the squad and do the job for now. And he's a Welsh one as well. We want to try and focus on getting Welsh internationals in, and I felt that was a good way to do it. So they're potential ins and outs. There's a few outs that may happen before the window. I'm just basically waiting to complete my squad before deciding whether a few can leave or not. But it is likely 3 or 4 of the regulars you've seen over recent years will go. Let's have a look at the transfer window so far though. Now a couple of you have asked in the comments why we haven't just been making big transfers and really gone for it. And there's a very simple reason for that. We haven't got anyone of quality to improve the squad. You see where we bought John Price last summer. You'll see about this guy as well. They're not better than a Harvey Lloyd. They're not better than some of the fullbacks we've bought in recent years. It does make it quite difficult that all of the players being scouted, whether they're free agents or £10 million, none of them are better than 3.5-star ability. So it's not that I don't want to spend the money. I'd love to see 5 great players up and spend a whole budget. We just haven't got that quality there. And I really thought it might change this summer, with Christopher Broome agreeing to join us from Spurs, a higher reputation, higher quality young player, and then Matty Whitaker, who we'll meet in a minute, is a very good young player. I thought those 2 would do the trick. We've got a returning hero, as you can see, and a Welsh striker, which we talked about. But we're still getting a little bit frustrated. We're still not able to do everything we want. But given the frustration we could have had this summer with Pringle and with Brooks leaving, I'm relatively happy with where we are. Let's firstly, though, have a look at the outs and what's been going on the other way. So TNS came back in for Stefan Banks. He's been on loan there a couple of years and has gone back for a 3rd season at the club. Harry Morgan to Barrytown United as they try and recover and get back into Europe this year. Colwyn Bay, they had their first European fixture. Ian White has gone and joined them. He was on loan at Bala last season, part of their relegation campaign. Tony McLaughlin, the second one to return to TNS. He's improving after that injury he had early on last season. And then they couldn't get Gwyn Morgan back, could TNS, so instead they've come in for Kean Burgess, which is good to see. They're improving our players, they're improving the Welsh League. And actually, he's going to play an important part for them in the Europa Conference. So we're really pleased to see him go there. Next up, another one of the youngsters, Gareth Bathurst, he went to Llandudno. Martin Sinclair, remember him, out on loan at Barry last year? He's gone to Newport County. He'll be playing in the English leagues because no Welsh side would pay his wages. And then the final 2, Kai Collins to our feeder club and Peter Holding has gone to Dundalk. Because we got Whitaker in, because we got a new fullback in McDonald, we didn't really have a space for him in the squad, Kai McDonald, but he was so good last time and he's rated so well, I had to bring him in. That means Keegan Riley will now become one of the centre halves and as a result we can loan Holding out, and hopefully playing a professional league, playing in the Champions League for Dundalk, he might be able to make a difference. We'll wait and see if that works out, but touch wood, he can get European group stage football for them, because he's going to be a superstar if he gets that. But they're the outs very quickly. None of the permanent ones gone yet. We're looking at the likes of Luca Cannell. We're looking at Ben Cottrell. We're looking at a couple of defenders and thinking, maybe we'll sell you. But at the moment, we've not got any restriction on, well, if we don't sell these 2 or 3, we won't have any budget left available. We've got loads of money from the European runs, so we can build the squad and then just sell a few after that. But the 4 that have come in, you know 2 of them already. The first one, Christopher Broom, was on loan last year. He came on a free from Tottenham Hotspur. We knew that was happening anyway. 4-star ability, 4-star potential. And on a permanent deal, it's an incredible signing. It's a brilliant box-to-box midfielder. You can see at the bottom of the screen there. 4 games, 3 goals, 2 assists already. And in Europe, he's a superstar. He's played for Sporting Gijón before. He's got class. And after half a year of settling in, he's become a superstar at this club. We absolutely love the guy. And with us losing Ian Brooks, it was crucial we kept him. What we also wanted to do, though, before we started losing people this year, was improve our defence. And if we could do that through permanent deals, that would have been great. We have managed to do it once. Matty Whittaker comes in from Derby for $700,000. Now, that's our second biggest signing ever, behind John Price, who was slightly more at just under $1 million. But Whittaker, he was out of contract. He's a Welsh under-20 international. 3.5-star ability, 4.5 potential. He's got a really decent personality. Physically, he's fantastic. He's got all the key attributes technically. We talked in our tactical special a few months back about having good positioning, and that's one of his best defensive attributes too. So although it's against weaker opposition, he has looked like a Rolls Royce so far. And I'm hoping we'll be able to get the best out of him. Walsall want him on loan. There is absolutely no chance of that happening. But on a permanent deal, another one who we've got here for the future, I've got no doubt that Whittaker's going to be a start. It's already our best centre-half on paper. Then we had a returning hero, this time again from Tottenham. Kai McDonald, who we had on loan in the 26-27 season, has rejoined us at the age of 22. 11 caps for the England under-21s, 4-star ability, 4.5 potential. He's a 4-star fullback, can play centre-half, right wing, left wing, attacking midfield, left back, anywhere. He's a quality player. He's played 2 games in Europe, and although he's not up to fitness yet, he's looked pretty good. And in the 3 years he's not been playing for us, he's had 2 seasons at Crystal Palace, played a full season in the Championship, and then a full season in the Premier League. So this player was playing first team football in the English Premier League last season, and he is now coming to play in the Welsh League with us at Bangor City. That's a hell of a signing, and for me again, another sign of a step up towards the top level. But we're delighted to have him back, and he's joined by another Brighton player. We've got Yesten Weaver, who extended his loan, and Luke Williams is alongside him. 3.5-star ability, 4-star potential. Now, you might ask, when you look at the other 2 strikers, who we saw a minute ago, who look slightly better than him, why we didn't go for them 2 instead of this guy. Now, I've got a very peculiar reason for this. One, he's played 5 games for Brighton and scored a goal. He's played very well in the 2 games he's played for us. But he is a senior Welsh international, which I think is so important we have one of those where possible. He also, at 23 years of age, is that little bit older. He's out of contract at the end of this season. He's on 16 grand a week at Brighton, which might be a stumbling block. But looking at his attributes, I'm thinking, could he be our next superstar permanent addition? And that's why I've gone for him on loan this season, despite being slightly less good than some of the others, because I think he could be a permanent signing next summer. And I'll wait and see if we're right on that. We've got an injury to Joe Duffy. We've had an injury to Max Dean. It's been a difficult pre-season up front. But Williams, alongside Elliot Andrew largely, has started to become a decent player for us. So I'm hoping he'll be a superstar. He scored 46 goals for the Welsh under-21 team. 46! He's got quality, he's got pedigree, and he likes to place his shots. I think he's going to have a good season once he settles down. If we can just get Greg Pringle back to play alongside him, we might be able to compete for the Europa Conference or Europa League title. I genuinely believe that with the way we play. We've had 4 games already, of course. In the first one, we beat Ararat Armenia 5-0 away from home. A Chris Broom hat-trick, Elliot Andrew and young Tom Jones with a goal apiece. In the second leg, a 3-0 victory with Jones, Lloyd and Andrew getting 1 goal each. Against Valour in the second qualifier, a 3-0 win at home, and Elliot Andrew brace and Harvey Lloyd with one. Before in the away return leg, it was a 3-1 victory this time, 6-1 on aggregate in the end. And it was Luke Williams with his first for the club, Tom Jones and Elliot Andrew yet again. You can see there off the bench, Carl Lacey, Jason Williams, Gwyn Morgan, loads of those youngsters getting a run out. And I just feel like, particularly with Tom Jones and Gwyn Morgan, we could have 2 youth academy players who become absolute stars for this club. We've of course got today's game sandwiched by a League Cup tie which we'll play off camera. But let's go and get into the first leg over in Slovenia and see if we can get closer to the playoff round. We're giving Patrick Malone a go. We're putting him in the shop window because he's transfer listed by request. Either he'll improve and then he'll be happy and he'll stay with us, or we'll get a bigger offer. Either way, we can't lose out. So we've got George Wickens in goal. McDonald, Weaver, Price and Whittaker are our back four. This, already at this stage of pre-season, is by far the best defence we've been able to put out. Harvey Lloyd is the brilliant anchorman in the holding role. Broom alongside Patrick Malone in the middle. We are missing Ian Brooks a bit in truth. And then Tom Jones, the number 10, in flying form, still improving attribute-wise. With Max Dean and Luke Williams up front. But Elliot Andrews in reserve if we need him. And he scored goals galore already this year. So the first leg in Slovenia is about to take place. What do you think will happen? What do you think of the transfer work? Let's go and get into it and find out. And here we go. Up front, I think Olimpija have got 2 real players because Pavlin is marked as the superstar, the key player, and Pesnik is the skipper. So we'll go and have a look at those in a moment. But into the first half we go. We're going to tell the lads to pick up where they left off. They've been brilliant in recent ties. So let's go and get in the first half through the tunnel interview and make sure we get a result away here. We want to get away goals and we want to be in the tie. And then at home we'll trust ourselves to do the job. Let's get into the first half and see if we can do it. As we're back on the left-hand side, just 3 minutes on the clock, Weaver chips the ball forward, pretty aimlessly I would say, and Pavlin, the key man that was earmarked, has picked it up on the left-hand side. Plays a 1-2 with his fullback, comes over halfway, he's beaten 2 challenges there, and he is striking fear into this team with his run. Goes for the effort from 30 yards. It wasn't a great one by any means, but that shows a degree of confidence that we might not have. As Weaver throws in from the left to Williams. Can we get that early away goal? Chips it up towards Dean. Again, it's aimless from Weaver. Not the best start from him, though Harvey Lloyd wins it back. Luke Williams gets the ball. His shot's blocked. Back to Broom, to Jones, to Malone. He shoots, top corner. Absolutely brilliant from Patrick Malone. 1-0 though, with 10 minutes gone here in Slovenia. It's been a perfect start for Bangor City. Well, at half-time, it's calmed down a little bit. Olimpija, still no shots on target. And we've been by far the better team in terms of the stats, in terms of the chances created. And we're 1-0 up, which is the crucial bit. So if we can hold on to this in the second half, it'll be a great start to the tie. But yes, then Weaver's got an injury, potential foot injury. The good thing is, last year's starting centre-half Morgan Boys is there ready to come on. And he's down to 2-star ability now in comparison to the squad, but he's still decent enough. So we're more than happy to have him as a replacement. I am looking at Max Dean as well, thinking he's probably only got about an hour in him. And what we'll do then is we'll get Elliot Andrew on up front. And we are going to do that sub up front now because Max Dean is just not really showing much in this second half. He's not been involved in the game, though he has given it to Malone on the right here. Back to McDonald. To Malone again! Nearly scores a second. Jones was trying to throw himself at it in behind. Couldn't quite get there. Malone and Harvey Lloyd are the 2 most knackered players on the pitch. So Lloyd will make the most of the fact he hasn't got a yellow card and bring Archie Woods on for him. And for the last 15, we'll just try and cling on. Because at the moment, I know it's only 1-0, but it's been a vintage display. We've looked confident, we've looked content at the back, we've looked really solid. And we've looked all right in front of goal. We just haven't taken our chances. If we had Greg Pringle alongside Williams up there, I think we'd be great. The problem I have now is that Williams has picked up a knock too. Though Tom Jones gets it on the edge of the box. He's brought down in the box for the penalty. It's a poor tackle in truth. And this is the difference with Luke Williams. He's actually a good penalty taker on paper. Can he make that count from the spot? It's all good having the attribute. Has he got the mindset? Luke Williams steps up right-footed. Wraps the tie up, I would have thought. A second goal on the road for Bangor City. A 2-0 advantage with 2 away goals. Surely there's no coming back for the Slovenians now. And Luke Williams gets his second for the club. Excellent finish. He's only got a bruised knee, so he should be alright for next midweek. Full rotation for the League Cup. And I'll see you in 7 days' time. Well, before we get into the second leg, back in Wales after our 2-0 win in Slovenia. Loads of fitness tests to get through. but also some other European action. Firstly, Peter Holding, who we sent on loan to Dundalk. Yes, their side lost 2-1 in Croatia, but he scored the goal away from home against Dinamo. However, we want to talk about the other Welsh sides that went into Europe this season. So Colwyn Bay made their debut in the competition. I'm afraid they didn't fare so well, although they did have a tough draw. They lost 4-1 away from home at Rijeka, a Croatian side. Billy Hunter got a goal, but they were 4 down at half-time. However, in the second leg, they won 2-1. Now, I know they didn't get through overall, but will that win improve the coefficient? You have to think it will. So Price and Kajato got the goals there, and he's starting to look a real good youngster. So we're keeping our eyes peeled on him this season. He might be someone we go big money for. Maybe we can improve another club then. Aberystwyth, they're top of the league. They beat Colwyn Bay on the opening day. They went out narrowly to Genk. We looked at their draw and thought, that's awful. They lost 1-0 away from home in Belgium, but then drew 2-2 at home. 2 more goals, they would have done it. Davis and Jones with their goals in between 2 of the Genk ones. But really, another good result. A positive result on the night, if not overall. However, TNS are currently the stars of the show. They beat AEK Larnacus in the first qualifier round, or the second qualifying round, in the Europa Conference. A 3-1 win at home, a 2-1 win away. Tony McLaughlin getting 3 of the 5 goals there. A good loan addition from us. And then away to Wisla Krakow on Thursday night, just after our first leg. They only lost 1-0. And that leaves them in with a hell of a chance at home on Thursday night. So they'll be hosting the Polish side then. And if they win that, they're one tie from Europe, from the group stages. And they just need a lucky draw then. I'm not sure if it's been made yet. I don't think it has. Oh, it has. If TNS or Wisla Krakow get through, they face either Desna of Ukraine or PAOK of Greece. Maybe a step too far, but if they get to the playoff round, that'll be a big turning point for this save. Let's see if they can do it as we face Olimpija with a comfortable 2-0 lead. No further transfer news this week, I'm afraid. 11 changes to be made after a narrow escape in the League Cup. We always have trouble with it at the start of the year. We were 1-0 down, we were 2-2, but the last 15 minutes we got the goals. We had to bring on a couple of the big guns in Malone and Whittaker. Malone's now ended his unhappiness, but a Gwyn Morgan equaliser in the first half, 2 from Elliot Andrew, and a young Jason Williams getting a penalty made sure that we won 4-2, we progressed to the next round, and we face lower league opposition again in Holyhead. So let's look at the 11 the assistant has gone for. Yestin Weaver's injury in the first leg, 3 to 4 weeks I'm afraid, so he's going to be out for this one. Joe Duffy is back and will start. Elliot Andrew may or may not be on the bench, we'll wait and see. Williams back to fitness, he's fine. Malone and Broom looking good, though Malone did reject a new contract despite his renewed happiness. The rest of the defence looks pretty good, it's just boys in for Weaver which weakens it slightly. And the rest of the squad's okay. So let's have a look at the bench where I would like Williams to partake. Morgan and Riley are fine to be subs. We've got Anderson, we've got Williams, we've got Woods. And then it's just, do we have a second striker or do we have Cole Lacey? I'm going to go for... No, I'm going to leave it. Andrew and Dean, just in case we need strikers. Both of the others starting today coming back from injuries. So let's just leave the safety net on the substitutes bench. 2-0 up on aggregate, 2 away goals. This hopefully should be a comfortable passage to the playoff round. Well, similar lineups. We're going to tell the lads to do their best and get through the tunnel interview. You can't really throw these ones away, can you? We're back at the race course. Don't forget Namporth getting its little improvements at the moment. But first shot on target goes to us. There's no highlights so far. It's exactly what we want. We're happy enough. I've just realised their star player's not in the team today as the ball switched out to left back for boys. He clears long towards Williams. Cheekily tracked there with his run. Just a little check across from the defender. He gets away with it, and to be fair, he's going to be happy because he's managed to get it through to his keeper. As Lloyd heads the goal kick away as far as Broom. The left back's on the run as Price goes long towards Williams. Flicks down for Joe Duffy. Not quite got those fresh legs yet. He did play about 50 minutes at the weekend, but he didn't look good by any stretch. We've just got to keep him fit and hope Greg Pringle can come in later as McDonald gets it back to Whittaker. He comes forward. We would like to keep Duffy here a little while, even as a backup, because he is the joint record goal scorer with Max Dean. As Tom Jones gets in behind, Luke Williams drops deep, turns provider with a through ball, and young Tom Jones is becoming a superstar in this team. It's 3-0 on aggregate, and Olimpija need 3, as they've got a goal kick with just 5 minutes to go in the first half. sort of drilled forward. There was no real float on it as it's flicked onto Williams. Jones this time tried to turn provider, but the goalkeeper's down. The defender makes the block, but it's out for a corner kick, which Harvey Lloyd will take. In swinging delivery, back post is Duffy. Can't quite get up for it, still doesn't look fit, and they're coming away with Pesnick on the left-hand side. Over goes Whittaker to defend, I think. It's blocked out for a throw-in. It's excellent work, and we survive at the moment. 5 minutes to half-time, no shots at all for Olimpija, and 3-0 on aggregate. Job well done so far. So let's go and talk to the lads. Let's tell them to keep it up. We're delighted with how they're doing. As Vidmar's got a goal kick for the visitors. Long ball downfield. This time it is very much floated. Harvey Lloyd up, barges everyone in the way and gets the ball back to the keeper with his head. As Price plays it out to Whittaker. Chance to come forward with no pressure. Out to Kai McDonald, the right wing back. He looks very good tonight. He's finally finding his fitness and form. Back to Malone. It's just overhit as I say that. Back to Whittaker again. Malone for the second time. To McDonald. No real urgency to go forward. They're waiting for the right opportunity as McDonald attacks the byline. Back to Malone. Cross is blocked and it's cleared downfield. Korosec up. Great challenge from Whittaker. And Jones gets there. Whittaker into Price again. We look so dominant. We look a really good side and we've got a great defensive base this year. It could make a big difference. As Broom goes to Boys. Cross to the back post. Duffy heads just over. And it's not going to be long before we take him off because he still doesn't quite look fit. And he's not sharp enough in and around the box yet. As Boys has a throw on the left. Finds Luke Williams. Holds it up. Back to goal. Goes back to Boys again. On halfway to Broom. He's had a quite quiet time. We'll probably rest him as he's struggling a bit physically today. It's back to George Wickens in goal and to Price. Goes into midfield to Jones. Really good that. Took 6 or 7 players out the game. Boys does the same with a brilliant through ball to Williams. And he's starting to turn into a scoring machine. He's starting to settle in. And we're starting to look like we've got a hell of a player on our hands. 25 to go. Let's make some subs. Price is going to carry on with a kick from the middle. I'm going to replace Joe Duffy with Max Dean. I'm going to replace Broom with Daniel Anderson. Try and get some of the younger ones on. And then Gwyn Morgan will come on for Boys, I think. I might leave it to someone else. We'll wait a moment as McDonald gets it on the right-hand side. Back into Malone. He delivers to Duffy. Chance to shoot. It's blocked away by Lebar. He gets it out, but the left-back Boys will turn about. He's got the ball just inside the opposition half to Broom. Boys is running up the line again. Can he find the right cross? He's got a fullback closing him down. Back to Broom. Both going to be coming off in a minute as Broom delivers to Williams. And he scores yet again. It's becoming comfortable now. It's becoming classy. We're going to take Morgan Boys off. We're going to bring Gwyn Morgan on. And Morgan's fine at left back. So we're 25 to go at 5-0 on aggregate. 3 more young players get a great chance in Europe. Well, it's just petering out a bit now. You'd expected it to calm down with the position the tie's in. And with 10 minutes to go, it's the Olimpija side on the 5 forward. They're trying to create something. Malone's in there to intercept again. We're winning it back so high up the pitch. As Dean plays a 1-2 with Williams. And Max Dean gets his first goal of the season as well. We don't often see the acrobatics from him in a celebration. But that's a big moment. If we can get all the strikers scoring while we wait to find if we can get Greg Pringle or another Lone Star in, we're going to be in good shape. I'm really happy with how we look this season. And with this win, of course, we've guaranteed at least Europa League group stage football again. It's a stunning effort. It's a brilliant achievement. We've got new players contributing, young stars coming through to the top, and some of the old guard still doing their bit as well. 4-0 on the night, 6-0 on aggregate. Let's look at the schedule and see who we'll be back for in the playoff. Very quick side note, Dundalk through against Dinamo, 5-4 on aggregate. Peter Holding scored in the Champions League again. Let's have a look at the schedule though. We will be playing Dundalk in the Champions League playoff round. So either we get to the Champions League group stages or our Lone Star Peter Holding does. If not, he'll be playing in the Europa League. He won't complain. But that's what we're going to be back for. An all UK and Ireland tie. Dundalk will be our opposition in the Champions League playoff. If you did enjoy this episode though, a brilliant performance against Olimpija and progress from TNS in Europe too. Please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. Don't forget our Scotland in the Euro series continues at Sunday at midday. And you can catch up with live streams on Twitch 3 times a week. And the link to that channel's down in the description below. All the playlists in the eye above. Thank you again so much for your support. And I'll see you next time as we try to return to the Champions League group stages. Disappointment in the playoff last year. And this time we've got to bounce back. I'll see you next time to find out if we can do it.